Go ahead, 2 questions. I think there's a mic, so raise your hand. Right there.
For both players, can you just kind of speak to what you learned about yourselves in those situations during the second half? They took the brief lead, and it was kind of a back and forth deal. You were able to put together those runs. Can you just kind of speak to what maybe you found out about yourselves as a team being in those situations?
Man, just being disciplined. You have to kind of figure out what type of team are you. You know, when calls don't go your way and shots don't fall, you have to figure out how can you impact the game. And we stayed together and played through the calls, some of the calls that we didn't get that we expected to get. And like I said, we just stayed together down the line. So.
Yeah, I would say resilient. There was a couple times where we just could have gave up and we didn't. They hit some tough shots and they hit some wide open threes, but they got to within 2, and then we just kept playing and we didn't give up. We stayed collective as a team, and we just kept playing hard.
Jaden, if you could take us through that stretch there where you had the 2 assists on the 3 and then the and 1, and kind of what were you seeing out there at that time?
I know I try to whenever I get the rebound and I get in transition, I try to get to the basket, but I know they're all in the paint, and I know some of my teammates are gonna be wide open, so it was just trying to make the right read, and I just put my teammates in the best position.
For Jaden, just to follow up on that, 6 assists, 1 turnover, where do you feel like you are now in that process of kind of being that lead guard who not only has to score but has to kind of make everybody around him better at times too?
I think I just really worked on it this summer, just being a better playmaker, just trying to make the right reads for my teammates. I know, I put in countless hours in the gym, and I know it's going to be teams that are going to play me to score the ball, and I'm just trying to make the right reads for my teammates.
Jaden, what's it like watching Trevion and how he's handled everything this year? Coming off the bench, you see him cheering early in the game, probably more than anybody. I heard him speak about it last week. What's that been like for you to watch, a senior kind of accept the role off the bench and do it?
This dude is a leader. He's a team player. He loves his team. He loves all of us, and this is my brother, and what he does, each and every day. He puts the work in, and he's just an ultimate team player. And he wants to win really bad, and just to have him on our team is a blessing for real.
Kind of going off that, Trevion, after the 3-play sequence where Jaden helped take back the lead, you came back in, Edie went out, and you seemed to really have command. Was that kind of by design, or did you see something where you were able to post up Garcia and really kind of cement and put the game away there?
Man, at that point in the game, it was just about who was going to be tougher, who was going to be more physical than the other guy, and I know a lot of times guys try not to foul, and our coaches tell us to go at those dudes. Those guys are both in foul trouble, from guarding Zach, and I knew when I came in I had to be aggressive and go at those guys. So I've been in these situations before. This is my 4th year now, and I know when the game comes down the line, I know I gotta step up and make big buckets. So.
Trevion, you and Zach are out last 8 minutes or so of the first half with foul trouble. Just discuss what those guys on the floor did to keep you guys in the lead and keep control of that game a little bit.
With both of us coming out, we were definitely worried about the rebound balance. Obviously because we play with a small lineup, and they still had their bigger guys out there. But we weren't really worried. We drill stuff like that in practice. We prepare for things like that. If me and Zach come out like it happened today, we practice having a small lineup in practice. We put so much work in, and obviously teams don't start like that, but coach drill stuff in practice to the point where it's like we're prepared for any counter or anything that happens in the game. Me and Zach both got in foul trouble, and like I said, it looks crazy in practice when you practice with a small lineup, but it comes in handy with situations like this where we both get in foul trouble. So I think it's just the way we prepare for games, and the drills that we do in practice. I think Coach prepares us pretty well.
Anyone else? Players? Thank you, guys. I'll take questions from Coach Maynard. Raise your hand and get a mic to you. Matt, go ahead.
Might as well start with that sequence. They take the lead on you for the first time all night, and then they miss a couple buckets. Jaden obviously finds his teammates, and then gets the and one. It was a huge moment. You could feel in the arena. How often have you seen that from him specifically? Last season, then coming into the season, was that something rare? A true, tangible step in the development of his game.
Yeah, he's made strides in that area. He just hasn't done it over a consistent, like a game. Like the way he found those guys are things that he needs to be able to do all the time. And like any talented guy you've been around, sometimes they try to take on too much. And he's got shooters with him, he's got size with him, and he still needs to be aggressive. But I just thought they were great passes. Getting him to play, athletic guys that can attack the rim, getting them when it's not there to play off of 2 feet and just do something simple. Sometimes it's a hard thing for a coach to get across. And both of those plays that he made there, were just simple plays, and he found Isaiah. And I think Sasha was the other one, or maybe Caleb first behind him. I lose the sequences in my head when going back. But no, he's made strides in that area, but he still has a ways to go. He can dominate a game, through his passing. Sometimes it's not always through his scoring.
What did you learn about your team playing without size on the floor?
Well, I thought they did a good job. I thought Ethan Morton played really hard in that last 7 minutes when we had to go small. We struggled to guard them. They made some tough shots. We made some tough shots. I think both teams their offense is definitely ahead of their defense. But no, I thought our guys were able to hold serve there. And it's not like I can't play those guys with 2 fouls, but if we were going to stay right there, I was just going to stick with it. And then as you get to the end there, we get some silly fouls in the second half, so it makes sense to do it. But when you got 2 guys and they're playing the same position, don't look at them as 2 people, just look at them as 1 guy. So I was going to go to probably Zach at the end of that first half, but our guys, we were able to hold serve, so I just stuck with it.
Matt, over here. 4 straight games with 90 points or more. Can you maintain this pace? Is that the way this team is going to develop, you think?
Yeah, I don't think we can average 90 points. I think, like I said earlier, I think a lot of people across the country that have players, their offense is better than their defense right now. We're one of those teams. We're not a very good defensive team. North Carolina's not a very good defensive team. We're both good offensive teams right now. And to be consistent and advance far in the tournament or win a championship in your league, you're going to have to be a good defensive team. We're just not going to be able to outscore everybody. The ball just doesn't go in like that. So, we just got to keep working. We're glad that, we played mistake-free basketball more or less in the second half. I think we had 2 turnovers, and that was great. That was our best defense, just not turning the basketball over because we had some tough lineups in there. But, just proud of our guys for their execution. But we got to get better defensively.
That said, Matt, I don't know how much you saw of the first game, but Villanova was pretty good defensively against Tennessee. How does that set up in your mind as you I know you've had about 8 seconds to digest, but just curious.
I didn't watch the game. I was getting ready for this game. Our assistants watched it, but obviously we got a great deal of respect for them. They're very stingy as a team, both offensively and defensively. They're going to make possessions count, and they're going to make you execute at the other end. We've played them 3 times here in the past 10 years, and each game's always very, very difficult. And just trying to prep for them in one day is kind of impossible. So you're going to have to rebound. You're going to take care of the basketball. You're going to have to do the things that you think you can control, and I think those things are going to be really important. But they're tough to go against. The way they handle the ball, play out of the post, run 3-4 things, but they're great at it. There's the simplicity knocks you out, and it'll be really interesting if we can stop them.
Matt, can you just kind of put into context what you got from first tonight?
Yep.
Just not only statistically, but just what he gave you outside of that.
Yeah, just his versatility, being able to log minutes, be able to be in the game and know what's going on. You know, a lot of times when you switch positions, Ethan Morton goes to the 4. You know, he hasn't logged a lot of minutes there. Sasha plays a little 4. He goes to the 5. They, you know, they knew what they were doing. And, you know, but Caleb played a lot tonight. He's just a, you know, good player. He's having to play off of other people offensively, just taking his open shots. He didn't get, you know, on the offensive glass tonight. He's been getting on the offensive glass, and that's something that he needs to keep doing. But he played a lot of minutes, played a lot of positions, guarded a lot of different people, didn't turn the ball over. Pretty impressive for a freshman.
Peyton, I wanted to ask you about Jaden. He's a guy that came in with a lot of hype and a lot of NBA draft speculation and people talking about him as breakout, whatever cliche that you want to use.
Right.
But it seems like he's really embraced this idea of letting the game come to him. Is that something that you had to coach into him? Is that something that's just who he is? Where did that come from?
No, it's not who he is. He wants it all. He's a very talented player, and just trying to get him to pick his spots. And tonight I thought he did a better job of that. He still had a couple moments, but for the most part, like he made good passes, took his shots when they were there. We were trying to get him to be aggressive more, like he did the first play of the game, and really work downhill. And he didn't do it as much as we would like him to do, but he's really grown in that area. His assist turnover ratio in conference play last year was much better than non-conference. We couldn't play him at the end of games in December, early January, and then he slowly but surely kept getting better and understanding how important possessions are, especially the last 5-6 minutes of the game. And but no, he's made some big time strides, and trying to get the really talented guys, trying to get their production on the same level as their talent. And that's what it is, because a lot of those guys get drafted for their talent, but they don't play because of their talent. They're only going to play if they're productive, and they're only going to play if they can play alongside superstars. So like, if I can't get him to guard, or if I can't get him to share the ball, it's going to be really hard to play in that league. And so those are some of the things we really try to talk about, like find your way into games because of defense, find your ways into games because of decision making, because it's going to help us win for selfish reasons, but it's really going to help you going forward down the road.
How do you incorporate Mason tomorrow?
Play him, put him in there. So we have 6 guards, then we have 4 bigs. So like, it's tough to play 10, but like, he would have played this game, obviously. He would have really helped us with it. So, but like, how much is like tonight, like with Brandon Newman, like we needed Jaden on the court. Sasha obviously got us going. I mean, look at those guys' assist turnover ratio. It's 14-2. Like, you got to keep him on the floor. And then, when he came in, he never got going. I know it was short minutes, but that's just kind of the way it is. So each guy's going to probably experience that throughout the season. Noob, you need another one?
I'm good. That was it.
That was it?
Yeah.
Thank you.